Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Final Drive. When I say another edition, well, we're back at it again. Your Kansas City Chiefs is back in the Super Bowl, and it will be a rematch from Super Bowl 57, where we're going to take on the Philadelphia Eagles once again. And guess what? We're having guests right back at it, and we starting with guess who was on last year. Larry, how you doing today, brother?
Oh man, man, it's good to be back, man. I can't believe a year has gone by that fast, but it's good to be, have our boys back in the big game. So, I'm feeling real good.
Right, man. Like, it's a phenomenal thing to be able to go ahead and do something that never happened before in NFL history, which is a three-peat. So we're
Mhm.
definitely going to get into those discussions because we got to ask you about the big game. But Lonnie, we didn't forget about you, bro. How you doing tonight, bro?
Good, excited. Like Larry said, ready to see what Larry got to say about this big game coming up. Like he said, another trip around the sun for us. It's
Mhm.
crazy how we keep finding ourselves in these situations. Let's hope that we can do it again coming up after a victory next year.
Right. So like we said, we got a lot to discuss. Larry, he's ready to unpack this entire season, and got a lot of things that he has to get off his chest. So before we even get into all of that, how we're gonna celebrate the Super Bowl and get into these Super Bowl questions, Larry, how you feeling about this season? What you got to say to those fellow rejects that had all those doubts about the entirety of the 2024 season?
So, um, it was crazy, man. We came out on fire the first couple of games. Then Rasheed goes down. Lose Pacheco, and we pick up all of our stragglers, and our offense took a back seat. We became a running team, playing defense. A traditional old school, late 90s and 2000s type football team. And everyone was saying, hey, we can't do this because our offense isn't doing this and our offense isn't doing that. And I'm like, well, the Chiefs are showing the league that we only have to play 2.5 quarters to beat you. And as many on the fence Chiefs fans that were in the kingdom, I was just saying, if we're trash, what does that mean for the rest of the league? And I mean, Bubba Dub said it best, that makes them trash. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing for me is like just in life is either you're gonna be all in or get off the boat or get off the ship right now. You know what I mean? And they really just showed us that, hey, we can dial this thing back and still beat you in many ways. You know what I mean? And that was the most impressive thing. And the weeks go by, and we didn't score much, and looked like we were struggling. We played Buffalo, lost to them, and I was like, yeah, that's more of an intel game than more of a, really trying to win. Then Pittsburgh rolls around when we get Hollywood back, and the band is back together, and then we had our best offensive showing the whole season. In the playoffs roll around, I said, man, the sad part about the league or about this season, they only have one game of our offense on film. How can you
Mm,
game plan for that? It's next to
mm.
impossible. I said this is another season of coaching masterclass that Coach Reed and we'll say Nagy. You know what I'm saying? This has been a coaching masterclass, and I think this has been the most excited I've have been for to watch a season progress the whole time I've been a Chiefs fan.
And that's wonderful. I mean, it was a lot of talk that was going on, a lot of doubts that was, of course, definitely coming into that beginning part of the season, and they just kept on fighting and
Right.
fighting. Face Buffalo, we lose, but we're fighting. fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Really only had one loss the entire season. You can, of course, on record is going to be the Denver Broncos beating us, but that's our backups.
Right.
So, Lonnie, anything you want to respond to Larry about, his overall thoughts about the entirety of the entirety of this season? Because you're not on Facebook, you don't see what we go through on in our rejects group as well. So, a lot of people have a lot of thoughts where they just say outlandish things, and you hear me talking to you about it all the time.
Yeah, I just really think he had. I highlight let's highlight that end part. I think you said something that was really big that people don't really catch on a lot to. Um, People didn't have a good look at the Chiefs' entire offense coming down the stretch, and that really might have played a big factor, especially going into that Texans game. Yeah, they did have a good look at them with Hollywood Brown, and that kind of probably helped them play them a little bit better in that second matchup, which is why that game was probably closer. But the Buffalo Bills didn't, and you could kind of tell in ways that they used Hollywood Brown. He got open on some plays, really got used in the quick game early on. So, that was a good point, Larry. Like, I didn't really think about it, but they don't have a lot of film of Hollywood Brown in the Chiefs uniform at all. So, that could be scary because you might get him in some different positions, just lined up in different stacks and bunches that you haven't seen him lined up in before, him running different routes. And that can cause problems, especially if you haven't seen it on film before. So that was just a good point.
And it's a perfect time to do it as well. Even though we know that the injury was serious, so this is not something that they planned and was like, oh, we just want to be the whole season without Hollywood Brown. But at the same time, Reed, like you said, Nagy and Spagnolo, you got to give them their credit to where
Mm-hmm.
they were able to really work with what was given to them. They were able to pivot and, of course, come out on top with the game plans that they were providing and working through that. Now, there were some wrinkles that, of course, started off at the beginning of the season. Patrick Mahomes had a turnover problem.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Offensively, we just couldn't really find that rhythm. We always did enough to win the game, but it wasn't what we saw in previous years. So before we get into our actual questions, like with the pickups that we had in during the season, right? Had the Kareem Hunt, got DeAndre Hopkins. You picked up Juju before the season started because he got released. What was your favorite addition that happened after we already established our 53-man roster?
Uh, it's really been a few. Really, even before the injuries happened, picking up Samaje Perine was when I heard that it happened. I said, okay, Veach, you on your Thanos stuff right now. I said, because, and I was talking to people at work, and I was like, well, we couldn't stop that dude in the playoffs when he played with the Bengals a couple years ago. I said, all right. So then Pacheco goes down. Then we pick up Kareem Hunt, and I'm like, Reed, you're not a power running coach. Like, what are you doing with all these? You got Kareem Hunt, then you got Cream Hunt. My the
Carson Steele.
rookie, yeah, Carson Steele. You know what I mean? So it's like they slowed the offense down, allowed the defense to rest, and allowed them to stay fresh. And it was just like, so really every single pickup was really a favorite of mine, because you look at the Juju pickup, he's a familiar face, and when Juju was on and when he's called on, he's like our current day Sammy Watkins. You know what I mean? Like, he can get loose, and then DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, not only um, does he do what he do, but he's also a coach. Like, he's been monumental for the growth of Xavier Worthy.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like every single pickup was like, yeah, Veach is still playing chess, even though he had to fill in voids. But I was like, man, every single pickup, is who they needed, because it added balance now to our offense. Rice was more explosive this year than he was last year. He was kind of getting into that speedster territory. Like, him and Hollywood probably would have did a lot of damage.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So Juju's a slower receiver, more possession guy, but he's important when it comes to that run blocking. Like, I don't think a lot of people get that, what I'm saying, give him enough credit for that, being very unselfish. He's a great run blocking wide receiver, and you need that on the edges when, in the run game. So every pickup to me, man, was pivotal to making it back to this game.
And I'm glad you pointed that out because somewhere where Rashid, right, I was seeing the explosiveness as he catch the ball and then when he get upfield and he's really like burning that guy that's coming after him and able to get past that first or second level and then be able to of course try to run into the races. At
Yeah.
times he got caught, but it still put the Chiefs in great field position to go ahead and go down the field and then capitalize. So yeah, man, we did definitely have some great mid-season pickups, some early pickups as well that really help assist us and put us into this position that we are in right now. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's get into it. How are we celebrating the Super Bowl this year? What we doing?
Doing something at the house. My mom's called me and said, "Hey, baby, I want to get out the house and do something." But once that final, once that clock hits zero, I'm in the city. Yeah, I'm trying to see what's going on, man. Because hey, it's a three-peat, and
Right.
I know a lot of people won't like this, but Mahomes is more Jordan-like than he is LeBron-like. You know what I mean? Like
Speak
this
on it,
is
Larry.
this is upper echelon of athleticism and that dog mentality. Like Mahomes is a straight killer, and it's like I was. You hear people say, "Well, nobody fears Mahomes" and all the rest of that. It's like, well, almost every team that we played, they could be on their own 25-yard line, and they're still going for it on fourth down. That means you're scared of somebody sitting on that other sideline, dog.
hmm
That means
hmm
if you give this man the ball with 2 minutes left on this clock in the fourth quarter, yeah, you might as well pack it up, bro. Because we going down for 3 or going down for 7, or we gonna ice the game.
I like how you run this up because you said this is more Jordan like. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Somebody made a good point. It's really not neither LeBron or Jordan like because it took what Jordan like 7 years to even get to that point he was at, and then he was just on. He had two consecutive three-piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is really related to Magic, and we have the dark humor here and say this, man, like who knows if he didn't get A's, bro, what's gonna happen? Let's just be honest. Let's just talk about it. Because what he did his rookie season, we are saying like, what would he have? What would Mahomes did that rookie season? He probably taken us to the Super Bowl that year too. Who knows? We're just speculating, right? But once he got in and started playing, he had control of the franchise. He was that leader that everybody was looking to. The floor
Mm-hmm.
has been an AFC Championship game.
It has. It
You only
really
have
has.
one loss in the Super Bowl. The other loss in the playoffs was in the AFC Championship game, which is your floor. So you only got one loss in the Super Bowl compared to 3 wins that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have 4-1. Now we can talk about the success of what Jordan has done. Like, hey, when he gets there, he doesn't lose. Well, Pat, you lost. I mean, you lost. You got one. However, I know you're ready too. How quick you have done it.
Yeah.
And when you look at the body of work that you did in them years, we don't really care about those consecutive three-peats that Jordan had compared to this. What you doing right now? Your floor is AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Lonnie, what you gotta say about that? I know
And
you're
you
ready.
said, and you compared it to Jordan, and you said you went on and compared it to Michael Magic Johnson, but a lot of people I heard on sports compared it to Tiger Woods. He kind of just like set his own expectation, come in and winning at a
Mm-hmm.
very, very young age,
Yeah.
winning a whole bunch of majors, and just kind of set the bar for himself, doing the unthinkable really in the NFL. Jalen Daniels, I think, was probably like one of the closest that I've seen as a rookie get to like going to the Super Bowl in my generation. And Mahomes is like the second really in it because you can really say it was rookie year. Some people don't count it as rookie year, but like his career is just like I think unparalleled, especially in the NFL. You don't see quarterbacks really go to the Super Bowl, especially like within like 2 years of their rookie contract. It's just rare. But that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the expectation now. And he set that bar right there, but he hits it every time. So we're comparing him to like rarefied air athletes. That's why I say Larry, just speak on it, just because I think we gotta take a step back and acknowledge that as a city, as a
Yeah.
culture, everything that this man is doing something second to like no athlete in the world, bro. Like people don't get in this sport and duplicate success over and over and over and over and again on a sport that's taxing on your body.
Yeah.
where you getting hit and you gonna get in a car crash almost every play. So what he's doing is unparalleled. Like I can't compare it to nobody for real.
And I'm glad that you said that because really, if you look at it from an organizational standpoint, unlike most teams when they get or draft young quarterbacks that high in the draft, they have voids across their team.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted this. They already had a Cadillac. They drafted Mahomes. This mother turned into a straight V model. You know what I'm saying? Like we and we've been out of there ever since. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, it's like, yeah, they knew what they were going for, and after they drafted Mahomes, I seen what Rick is like. This kid can make every single throw that he can think of. Even when
Mm-hmm.
John Gruden was breaking down tape of him, he was like, "Bro, you're just cocky because you can do anything." And with Reed's history with Brett Favre, I can kind of see like, hey, if he can throw 60 yards on his back foot, yeah, this is who I need. And he has the, excuse my language, balls to do it. I love Alex Smith. I love what he did. You know what I mean? But this is what we needed. We needed that extra little. It's something else that Mahomes brings. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't play soft. He doesn't play scared. He's gonna give it to you. But now, with him becoming a veteran quarterback, you know, he's going to take the run play. He's going to run. He's not going to throw in the triple coverage. You know what I mean? So it's like even the maturation process of Mahomes. Even when they took away, when Tyreek Hill left, he's adjusted throughout his whole career. And yeah, you're right, man. I think this kid's in a league of his own. He is. He really
That
is.
he really is, bro. And like you said, he lets them hang, right?
Mm,
But the thing about Gruden, I think with his reference and let him know like you play cocky, and Mahomes was still humble within that conversation as well
yep,
too. And I think he always felt like, no, I don't feel like that. But I feel what Gruden was telling him and what he has developed into how he was playing, because we talked about this early on in the season, so you'll kind of get my point. Because we always talk about this as well. Him telling him like, hey, like you're cocking your play. Mahomes probably went back and said, you know what? I am doing all these fancy throws and doing all that. Of course, it's flashy. Now you know how we go about it, and he still has that swagger in him as well. But what
right,
the difference I'm seeing now is I'm just trying to make the correct throw, and I'm
yep,
trying to make the correct read.
right.
And going back to what I said, when we get back to that reference, it feels like in the beginning of the season, when he had those turnovers, that turnover margin was higher than his touchdown ratio, right? It feels like he just be trying to see what he can get away with early on.
Like, bro, they be extending preseason, and that's unfair.
Yeah.
That's
It,
unfair. That's unfair. It's like because the ones barely played in preseason. So then you run into the regular season. Here it is, Big Derrick Henry with Baltimore, and they gonna run through us. It's like, bro, we just trying to figure it out, bro. We creating the playbook on you.
so
You know
what
what
would
I
you
mean?
yeah. So what would you say to those? Because I think this is a good time to let people know like why you might be more critical of Mahomes, because we have those conversations.
Right,
We talk about this on a regular basis. And it's been times that I even reached out to you. I've been like, what you on? But with him being a coach, regardless if it's little league or not, nobody
right,
care. When you be knowledgeable of the game and what you're trying to train and teach people on, you look at it in a different light.
yeah,
And I think, and what we see with everybody outside of the group, if it's anybody who's talking about Mahomes and you're just hating, oh no, we're not going to allow that.
yeah,
We're not going to be. I think we try to be different than Patriots fans, where it's like, yeah, our team is good. We don't care. They great. It's like, nah, bro, we want him to continue being great. So we're going to be critical of those things. I feel like we know more about football in Kansas
yeah.
City more than Massachusetts. Boss, I'm sorry. I'm just being real. I think they have the passion as fans, but like when we go into it, we don't shy away from like being critical. So with you being critical on Mahomes, what would you tell those like who feel like you just hate them?
So like I think my critical points, and maybe it's just Mahomes ran a lot more in his previous years than as compared. He's running a lot more now. And I've even chilled out on that because you hold something in the bag and now they can't game plan because now they're running RPOs. Now they're doing all kind of stuff with his with his legs, and it's like, all right, the only thing that I think I was really critical on him was how deep he sets in the apex of the pocket. That's not going to help his tackles at all. That's going to give, like I said, like if I'm a defensive coordinator and I know Mahomes doesn't climb the pocket, I'm going to send my ends on a wide nine, and I'm going to say, hey, we got your back. Just go get him. You know what I mean? So, but even with that, I was like, well, that's Mahomes' game. That's what he does. He's gonna sit there like a wounded duck, and then he's gonna find that open guy. So even with that, I've noticed they went back in their bag. Back when we had Alex Smith and Ware and Hunt, they were adding pass protection with their running backs with the motion, chipping the ends and stuff like that. As well as moving Tooney to tackle. So with that, I think they figured out, and I was like, well, maybe we never really had great tackles since Mahomes has been here. We just game plan protection for our quarterbacks.
As much as everybody want to hype Eric Fisher,
Yeah,
we didn't got him to that point.
yeah, bro. Like
That
to be
was a
honest with you,
process.
because once I
We,
started seeing motion in the backfield and they chipping ends and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, we were doing that back when we had Alex Smith, and it was just like, yeah, we didn't complain about pressure tackles or anything like that, and it's like, huh. Nagy went back in his bag and like, yeah, we have to protect you now because they sent everybody after us. So yeah, it's but I say, that was my critical point. But after that, it was just like, well, sometimes it's coaching. It's like, well, how his play style is, so now you have to help him do what he does best because you're not going to change Mahomes' play style at all. You're not. Like, bruh, like we know, well, we feel that Nagy is a yes man, and this is like, what can you do as a coach? Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I just say, my critical, it really wasn't that big of a deal, but after that, it was just like, man, hey, once I seen that they started game planning different things to protect them and stuff like that, I said, we're good. We're
I
good.
know you're trying to say something.
oh yeah, well, yeah. I was just gonna say we had Cam Irvin too. We had some others. There was some very sus tackles in there. So that should like you said shouldn't have been a problem. And it's really just never been a thing in Kansas City. Like you said, I'm not gonna say we know more football because I don't know people's football all around the world how much people know.
Sorry.
But I'm gonna say that the Chiefs have the Kansas City fans really kind of know because we've struggled a lot. If you look at our history, and I always tell people this, this was not a franchise that won all the time, so we know what bad football looks like.
Right?
So we know the difference between a really really good team and what a very very bad team looks like because we watched the bad team longer than we watched the good team. So
That's true.
It,
like,
and I'll say this, like, when I'm talking about real Kansas City fans, I'm not talking about bandwagon fans. I'm not talking about the Swifties. Like, this is just what happens when you're great. You bring in everyone from all commodities who's going to come together. I love this team right here.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking about Kansas City, I'm talking about your South Suburban coaches, your Mo Can, Pop Warner, the fans who just come together on Sundays, regardless of what's going on. We have our woman who is trying to learn the game as well too. Like, we have some knowledge of we seen bad, but we're
Yeah.
not the ones who didn't see bad. 50 years before we got to the next one and won it.
Right.
We didn't been through that. Our grandfathers are people that have gone, like they didn't seen it all as well too. We understand hurt. You're not going to take this away. You're not going to take our joy away.
Nope.
You're not going to take our joy away. Even when you have people who want to be pessimistic or say all this other stuff, yeah, they being pessimistic at that time, but they're enjoying those championships,
Oh God.
regardless of what it is. Regardless of what it is. So, yeah, man. So, all right, the people y'all gonna have a little get together on Sunday for the Super Bowl. Is this like do y'all start from the morning going into the end of the game, or is it like, hey, meet up at like 3, don't turn up pregame, and then we about to enjoy this game? Like, how does it go? Because I feel like since I'm by myself up here, I'm just turning up all day. And just
That's
calling Lonnie and talking to Clayton. They'll be in the chat. That's all I'm doing all day.
so.
And Larry, look, this is how I explain it to him. In Kansas City, it has become a holiday around this time,
Yeah,
right or wrong.
yeah,
Every
right.
year around the same time, we get together. It don't matter all over. It don't matter. This is just me and my family. I don't know what you do, but it don't matter. And it's a random holiday in February.
Yeah,
But
man.
go ahead and let us know what you do. I'm just
So my mom had asked, what was I going, and I'm real, of course, it's a Kansas City thing. We big on barbecue.
Right.
So man, I think my pregame might start Saturday. Smoking it,
That's facts.
fire the grill up, take my time. You got to have a adult beverage in hand because I cook a little bit better when I got the oil in me. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be all day. I got to be at church 8:30 Sunday morning, but it's gonna be all day thing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's early morning
yeah,
service out there. Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
man, we're gonna
Yep.
get that knocked out the way. We're gonna finish up Sunday, and yeah, my mama, she was like, "Yeah, baby, I might be a little twisted by the time of the game." I said, "Hey, mama, it's a bed in there. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to go nowhere. You ain't got to go nowhere." You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's gonna be all day thing, man. I've quietly been going around work. Everybody with the Chiefs, well, they not gonna win this game. I said, "Hey, we back in the big dance again, dog. What you got to say?" I feel like my uncle Shay Shay. What you got to say about us now, Skip? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's exciting, man. It's exciting to be a sports
Mm.
fan in general in Kansas City right now, man.
Yeah, Lonnie act like I just missed out on what we like. It used to crack when we wasn't going to the Super Bowl. It didn't matter. Well, that's why I'm saying
Yeah,
we're a football town. The Super Bowls was
yeah,
cracking when we wasn't even in it. But that
yeah,
year I did come back though. It was lit. Not gonna lie. It was
yeah,
like once we got in on Friday, it was like, oh, jerseys everywhere. It didn't matter. Everybody had on a jersey every day. I feel like everybody probably had on that jersey since Monday, the start of the Super Bowl week, all the way up until probably up until that Saturday after the parade. Who knows?
yeah.
and
That's
it's a
facts.
feeling that's kind of unexplainable, bro. You got to kind of see it for yourself, like go in the store and like all the Rotel stuff is gone. Like
Because you know what it
or
is.
go or like you got to go to the store early on Thursday because if you go to the store on Friday, you're not getting nothing like
Hmm.
Yeah.
juice or chips or like you have to see it for yourself. It's something that can't be explained. It's like it's been like this, just really like you said, for a long time. But really, since we started going to Super Bowls and playoff runs, it is bad. Like
Yeah.
you got to go to the store early. Meat
I think I'm
gone. Like they
I,
going crazy.
I don't personally come back no more for a reason though. This is for the benefit of the team. It's like, I'm be honest with y'all. I don't want to be around y'all when I'm watching the game. I just rather call y'all. Like I'm gonna be truthful. I'll be in my own world.
Hey,
My
bro.
mama hate me. She be like, bro, you don't want to talk to them. Like, it's different. Like, Lonnie, you really know because once really 12 o'clock that day happened and that Don Julio is settling, I'm
Better
settled.
die.
Yeah, it's settled. It's settled. Nah, but truthfully, it's like been like a weird little thing for me. Like I think we all finding our traditions now, and it's
Hmm.
wonderful. It, but so hopefully we got many more. We gonna have many more under Patrick Mahomes. But I don't know next season, bro. If we do somehow win this game, I'm fine with. I don't care about Fort Pete, and I really don't care. Let's give
Cooper
everybody
Cup to
another
the
try.
Chiefs. I said it before we came on here. Cooper Cup to the Chiefs. That's another conversation for another day. But we will be back next year. We'll be running this back again. Um, Cooper Cup to
Kind
the
of getting
Chiefs.
tired, bro. We've been kind of like these last 2 years. We've been tired. It's like,
Mm,
oh, if I
mm,
was in the
mm,
media, I feel I need that Nick Wright energy.
mm, mm. Call me Kevin Gates. I don't get tired. No,
Nah,
buddy.
you know I'm
No,
lying.
buddy. No, buddy. We
I,
we didn't yeah.
look, one Sunday here we was talking about this too, Larry. We was like, let's be honest, Red Kingdom. That's the hardest anthem song you heard. All right, all
Oh,
right,
wait,
all
well,
right.
hold on.
No,
No,
I'm just
I'll take that back. Um the Chiefs, well, I think the RDVs did its own now, the Chiefs version.
uh huh.
Um and I think that might really only the couple that's really really stuck out to me. Like I know we our cousin Craig Smith, he got one that's pretty nice.
Uh-huh.
So yes, I mean, I got pretty much every single Chiefs anthem I know, and I just keep them in rotation on game day. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But Red Kingdom is it's kind of at the top or whatever. But yeah, man, it's I keep them all in rotation.
We got one. You gotta check out Wednesday. We got somebody come on who made the anthem. I'm not gonna lie. This is what I be telling people. Like, to me, anthems. It's not that they're trash, but let's be honest. We're just really trying to get people hyped up. Like,
Yeah,
gonna have a couple rhymes, but
right.
the core part of it is like probably doing the team tradition, of course, and just hyping the fans up what they do in the stadium. So I'll be fine with that. It's just I know that's like, man, Tech, you need to come with something else new though. Like, let's get another one. Like, it's time for another. You can make another one that's gonna last for like another 10 years.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's perfect. It's like, all right, let's come into the parade with a new one. Hopefully, you hear this request. Listen to the show, bro. So we giving you suggestions. We're
You
giving
did
you
it. You
suggestions.
did it. You got to stick with it now, bro. I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, he made it.
I
You got to
understand,
stick
bro.
with it. You gotta stick with it. It's over.
Sometimes I just do the old, like I just play that in the car sometimes, and I just be, yeah, I'm not gonna get
And
hyped
it
until
don't hit
Sunday,
the
bro.
same.
Cause I'm not around y'all. I gotta be in the
Dell
city though.
kids love the Red Kingdom song, right or wrong?
Oh, they do. Like
They
he
love it.
wants to, yeah.
And that's why I say Kansas City is in you. It ain't on you. You just got it.
It's
It's
yeah,
hard. They know. They
yeah,
can feel it. So yeah, it don't hit the
yeah.
same. It's not the same. He won't. He can't remake it, bro. He's not gonna remake
Just
Yeah,
disappointed
it's
something
gonna
from
be
him.
hard. It's gonna be hard for him to top it because I think somebody went live when the last game when they were playing it, and man,
Hmm.
just to see the lights red and like it's just Kansas City, man. Like, and
So
I don't get it.
I be wanting to cry sometimes when I see the Union State light up in red. It's like,
Hey, bro,
why did
it's
I
different.
leave now
It's
though?
different, bro.
Why?
It's just
Why?
different, bro. It is. It's just different.
I rode through there, especially when we was there for the draft. I was like, damn, bro. It's like, hey, the streets is still the same. Like y'all, Luke, Quinn, you gotta fix that, bro. Like, if
Yeah,
we getting too many tourists come in, all that, like y'all gotta get that together. At least that experience gotta be better.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like just coming home and just seeing like, dang, bro, light up for blue for the Royals, light up
Mhm.
for it. It's like it's a lot of these traditions that started that when I left and it's like, you wasn't a part of that. But like, no, bro, I'm really more Kansas City than you, bro. Like for real, like chill out, cause it's still in me and I'm
Yeah,
still mobbing.
yeah.
And you say Kansas City, Kansas to me, I'm fighting.
Yeah, it's a problem,
Sorry.
dog.
No,
It's
I'm just
on
playing.
site.
Hey, we can't do that, bro. We're gonna get people. Can't do that, bro. we we love y'all too, bro. That's
Say,
just little brother.
regardless of what they gonna do in 10 years, that's beside the point. But for right now, yeah, bro. Now I do go make my money on the Kansas side. I'm not gonna lie to you, but still. but like you said though, they're like even when you coming in from Northtown and coming down 71 and you pass the sporting, not the sporting, the
Yeah.
current stadium.
Mm-hmm.
They always have that stadium lit up like Arrowhead.
Boy, I went past that when I came through.
Hey,
I was
bro.
like, that's a
Hey,
beautiful
hey, bro.
stadium, bro.
Hey, bro.
It's
Hey, bro.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
that
small,
blue and yeah, bro. It's crazy,
but it's
man.
beautiful. I was like,
Yeah,
I like what y'all trying to do. We need to keep that up.
we
We gotta
do.
keep that up. Like it's becoming what it is. I know we got sidetracked, but we definitely still got a lot to talk about. We got more time in this, so Larry, we gotta get right back into it, bro.
All
Let's
right.
get back into this game. So there has been considerable discussion within the Rejects group, right, regarding like the conclusion of the season. Some people want the offense to be more. Everybody's like, as long as we winning games and we in the best position, we number one seed, which we got to the Super Bowl, we got all of that, right?
Mhm.
So like, you know, how do you feel? How the season actually wrapped up, and do you think like this could impact us going into the Super Bowl matchup? Like, do you have any hard feelings about how we ended the season, or more so you feel like this is just a unit? They just know how to win games, and that's going to still carry over into the Super Bowl on Sunday, finding
So
a way to win.
I'm actually And you know, I've been very particular on this. When Mahomes was throwing for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, I said, man, this is must see TV football, but this isn't great football.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think we have a complete team. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more impressive now than anything because it's like Mahomes, you don't have to work as hard now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that defense is going to get you that stop. Spags is going to dial up that zero coverage blitz and get you the ball back so you can go do what you do. You don't have to throw for 400 or 500 yards to win the game because you got a defense that can't hold a glass of water in their hands. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So now it's like we can take our time, and before we used to come out the gate strong. And
Right.
most teams, if you can survive that first quarter of all those scripted plays, you pretty much can handle them for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to wake up second quarter defensively. Spags makes his adjustments after half because, well, if you make your adjustments during the first half, they're going to go back and watch film, and they're going to have a counter to what you've done. So it's like I know people be like, oh, well, they're struggling first quarter and second quarter, and all the rest of it. It's like, well, if you shorten the game up, actually put it in perspective into four quarters, like, hey, all right, we'll give them that one, but we might be up 7-3 or down 3-7.
Right.
Second quarter, you start closing the gate or closing the door. Third quarter rolls around. When they do that little, we defer to the second half. We'll score before half and come out and score again. And it's like, see, this is the strategic part. And it's like we got a defense now, man, that's gonna get the stops. They're gonna do what they do, and now that offense, man, that doggone sludge hammer on offense, man, I'm just excited. Like it's a complete team. So they're gonna hit you from every angle now. So
Yeah, you made a good point about how they don't wake up. It's crazy. It's like we say they don't wake up first and second quarter. I think they just do the same game plan, tweak it a little bit. Hey, players go out there and play.
yeah.
Whatever adjustments we're gonna make it in the second half. But Spagnolo in this unit. My thing is, if you're not blowing us out the water, or you're just it's like you're kind of killing yourself with some of the
Mm-hmm.
mistakes you have. You're playing behind the line of scrimmage. You're giving him full goals to attack. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're not capitalizing where we're not making those adjustments right now, I feel bad for you in the second half because even in that Buffalo game, in that AFC Championship game, I still wasn't scared when Buffalo went up 22-21. Now, I like being on the edge of my seat,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at y'all throughout the game. Y'all not really as clean
Mm-mm.
as any other game. Y'all scoring this many points because y'all know y'all got to score this many points to keep up with the Chiefs, regardless of what you saw throughout the regular season. But Patrick Mahomes is on that other side. He's
Yep.
ready for you. He's evaluating how you're going down the field, how you doing it, and what we do when we got our opportunity. Went down the field methodically, was killing time off the clock, scored a touchdown, converted the 2 point, and then we had another chance to stop him again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, like you said, it's more complete. We can be in a shootout if you want because I was saying that to them all season. If y'all want the Chiefs to be in a shootout, they will. Why do that when I could just control the time of possession? What do
That's
I need to
it.
prove to you scoring 40, 50 plus points? And the teams that done that, other than the Eagles who just did it in this NFC Championship game, and I feel like they had a little doubts on their defense. Like we're just gonna keep on scoring. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give them some grace on that. But what that led them to, the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, the Ravens, all those other teams, they're not in the Super Bowl. Why does it matter? Why does it's just, thinking about if you get the job done, people don't care how you got the job done.
Oh,
They don't care. Just do it.
oh,
And I think that's what this unit has done. This team in general has done. They just got the job done. We're not going to talk about refs because we're not going to even entertain this week going into this matchup because we're not even
no.
going to have that discussion because at the end of the day, when you're a smart team, you're led by smart coaches, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
make smart decisions. And that's what we do when we get into these moments. We have been doomed by that. We have learned from experience. Just keep on remembering, we learn from experience. So, Lion, when you want to add on top of that before we move forward?
You said it best. Like you said, we learn from experience. And you can't blame stuff on coaching. Like I said, if you get put in situations and opportunities to win the game, fourth and short, third and short, and you don't win this possession or win the down more than one time, you don't need to win the game. So
Mhm.
you gotta win. You need to beat them in all aspects. Don't leave any question. Don't leave any room for anything. Beat them by 2 scores. Beat them going away if you want to beat them. And nobody's been able to do that. So we see
But
who
truthfully,
else can try.
well, Larry, how do you feel about that first down call? Because when evaluating it, I don't think this is really a rep conversation when we go into that because it's perception how you want to view it. At the end of the day, and I think a lot of people who play defense and who know the game as well too, and you look at it, he had the ball on the backside that was by the first down, like behind it.
Yep. Yep.
I don't blame Allen because you're trying to protect the ball. You already kind of dropped it already before, and it could have been like a recovery, and it could have been a different story, and that would have been a mistake he had. So,
Yeah.
like, was it a first down or?
It wasn't a first down. You know that ball got across the plane
Mhm.
for it to be a touchdown, for it to be a
You went
first
mute.
down. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't get it.
Hey, my mic.
Yeah, it was you. That was you. I'm about to say, yeah, we got you back. You went mute. But yeah, he said, no, he didn't get it.
I think he
All right, I
went.
think I'm having. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we get you,
Technical
bro.
Okay. One moment. One moment. Lonnie, if you hear me, take this over real quick.
Yeah, I heard you. But yeah, you said he did get the first down. So and that's why I said I feel like if you don't win it definitively, if you don't just take over all the way, then I don't think you deserve to win the game.
Not at all.
I feel like that was just the least of the Buffalo's problems in that game. I think there were a couple different aspects they needed to win in order to get the win. Really stopping Mahomes and those guys when it came to him wanting to get out the pocket and use his legs. I think that was a big thing. But just looking forward to the big game, I don't know what else Dale had on the docket to ask you, Larry. But I'm just looking forward to the big game.
Yeah.
What about this Saquon mess? You know, they asking all of this stuff about talking all this junk about Saquon being one of the best rushers in the league, possibly winning the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the Chiefs do to stop Saquon Barkley?
We just got to stop him by all means necessary. Um, yeah, I watched a few of their games, and I was just like, I mean, he's Saquon. Like, and he deserves all the accolades and all the attention that he's getting because, mama, he's been that man. You know what I'm saying? So I can't take anything away from him. But the thing, what I've seen from Buffalo, and actually their coaching staff really bottled Josh Allen because their offense looked very similar to to a Philadelphia offense. Heavy running with the quarterback and with the running back. So I'm thinking this offense really we're going to see the same, but of course with a higher tiered running back. I
Yeah,
think it's
Saquon. I felt like exactly how you felt though, bro. To be honest with you, just do whatever you can to stop him. The
it.
thing is, what I'm arguing with people that is on social media. By the way, everyone, Lonnie had to drop off. Birthday today, tomorrow. He's celebrating it, so
Right.
we're gonna give him a shout out. So he had to drop off. But going back into the Saquon conversation, I was arguing with a lot of people about that on social media, and they're saying you guys gave up 85 yards to James Cook last week and Joe Mixon the same the week before. This has been my rebuttal to everybody. I want everyone to look at the beginning of the season and look at the unit that we had that was not even with Charles Omenihu.
Right.
We weren't allowing a 100-yard rusher.
Yeah.
We were actually, even in the top 5 of not giving up that many rush yards in that game as well too, or rushing touchdowns. So they were doing their responsibility. Our bye week was in week 5.
Mm-hmm.
So from week 5 going all the way up into week 18, you saw the fall of the rush defense in week 13, because that's when they start calculating it, when we
Right.
start having trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's 8 weeks. Actually, that's 13 weeks of doing your job and having an early bye week.
Right.
They're wore out. But this is the
Right.
thing about the Kansas City Chiefs. You think that you're going to beat us in the run game. You're getting down the field, but when you're not finishing the drives with touchdowns, that's not how you're going to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then when we start scoring, and you're playing from behind, we took you out of your game plan because you're going to start feeling like you have to throw the ball. Because we will move up on that line of scrimmage. And
Yeah.
we will say, if you're going to beat us, would it beat us? We are 7, 8 guys are stronger than what you have on that front line and who you got coming out the backfield.
And that's the crazy thing about it, from like dealing with Lamar and all these other quarterbacks. Like these cats panic when they're down 3. You know what I mean? They get out of there like Lamar. They became a passing team. I said, bro, y'all really not gonna run the ball? Like y'all averaging 5 yards a carry in this playoff game, bro. Y'all
Yeah.
really just gonna throw it? Thank you. You know what I mean? So that's another thing, and I'm glad you said that. Like, man, like, yeah, we got that bend but don't break defense until they get tired of bending, and it's like, all right, we waited long enough. It's time to come after you. You know what I mean? And but yeah, man, it's just crazy to see, man. Like, and I think that it's going to rely heavy, on the Mike Pennels, the Pennels, the dent, like our run stuffing guys. They
Derek
got to be on the
Nottie.
A game this year, man. They're igniting all of them, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I think they will, and I think the game plan. I think what's different, and you saw it even against the Los Angeles Rams, and then what the Commanders did. I don't think their guys on the back end really. We have better tacklers as well. I
Yeah,
think when we crowd the line of scrimmage, when we come up, our DBs is not scared to attack, and
right.
along with that, we're not going to give you too many rush lanes that you can go through as well too.
Hmm.
Now you might, of course, squeeze through there, get you 5 or 6. We're not going to let you break loose.
Right.
That's one thing we're going to try to avoid. You're going to
Hmm.
get beat on all day, and we want to break you down
Yeah.
because it's going to get to a point where Jalen Hurts, we want him to beat us.
Right. Right.
You're going to have to beat us, bro.
Yeah.
We're going to take away some of your best threats. And I'm not saying that we're going to go one-on-one with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith all game. No, that's not what we do. We play our style of defense. But
Hmm.
when we're going to try to go after your guy, and we get you behind the line of scrimmage, we're sending it, and we feel like 35, 2-2, and the rest of the party, they can at least hold their own for a
Hmm.
couple of seconds while we go ahead and get Jalen Hurts flustered and outside of that pocket.
That's facts.
Because the thing about the Kansas City Chiefs, when you do get outside, you think you might have to be able to head downfield all the time. Even with Dr. Kincaid, he saw it, and he was actually open in that area as well.
Hmm.
But a lot of times we are in place and we capitalize and make big turnovers off of that because
Sure.
now you're just throwing it up. We don't feel you have the armor Josh Allen to actually get it right there.
Nope.
We don't. That's the difference. We respect him a little bit more. Even Lamar Jackson, think about it. And I would say CJ Stroud to an extent as well too, because he has a better arm than the Lamar Jacksons, and also Jalen Hurts is good, but
Yeah.
he been having trouble all season. So there's a lot that goes along with it. We'll see how it goes, but I do think that they can hold their own, and I think they'll be able to hold up with Saquon Barkley. If
Yeah,
they'll
because
be able to.
I actually looked at Jalen Hurts' stats prior to the Washington game, and I know that game had got out of hand,
Right.
but he was throwing for 120 here, 150 there. Then it was spike back up to over 200, but then he was throwing averaging like 100 yards a game, and of course he got Saquon. So I'm just like, well, yeah, if we can corral Saquon, yeah, we're gonna have a good day against Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, we will. We will. That's. I think that's what they're going to come into this game plan with. Now, I don't think they're going to do it to a point where Saquon, that's going to be the main focal point. And you have to beat us outside with those guys. I think they're going to try to hold their own and still make sure they have those schemes. Because what I always go back into that Steelers game when I saw
Mhm.
that Justin Reed pick, that was beautiful
Yeah,
by what we saw on the back end, how the rotation happened. I know
hey,
people say
bro.
they do it often, like, yeah, but to see it actually flourish and work out how they did, it's like, I see what you're doing now on the back end,
So
Spags.
they did it
That's what.
there.
Mm-hmm.
They did it to Jameis Winston
Mm-hmm.
in Cleveland. So it's like, yeah, they'll show you one safety high, and then while the quarterback is going through their cadence, they'll either go to three deep, or two safety high. And it's like,
That
yeah,
throws
I'm
you
pretty
off.
yeah. If I coach next year, I'm throwing that in my I don't even need it in little league or high school, but I'm throwing it in there just for kicks and giggles, bro. I want to see the rotation on the field, dog. You know what I'm saying? I might rotate the safeties and blitz one of them or something, dog. So that's how I look at it, man. Like it was like poetry in motion, and like that one where they rotated the three safeties, they rotated and then they all went back into coverage. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like it's a beautiful thing to witness. Like just great coaching.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I think overall the defense is gonna get a run for their money, but I think they can do enough to at least, of course, hold off and help us, of course, succeed and get that three-peat that we're looking for. So we get into the best part of it, almost wrapping it up, but this is the good stuff right here. And this is early as Monday. And I'm sure we want to get back and watch what they got going on for opening night in media, see what those guys are talking about as well, too. So this is our Super Bowl predictions. It's early on. Of course, it can change as the week goes on and we see more on the injury report. We see some things that is talked about. Probably, of course, what's motivating these guys as well, too. But I want to know, Larry, which players do you anticipate to excel on both the defensive and offensive side of the ball? And additionally, what is your score prediction for this upcoming matchup?
who do I look to excel on the offense and defense? I'm really thinking Worthy's going to show out
Mm,
offensively. I think Worthy offensively is going to show out. Kelsey's because like Kelsey's going to Kelsey. Juju's going to do it. You know what I'm saying? But Worthy really, man, has been this really been a highlight here lately. I know everybody was talking about his size and all the rest of that, but bro's been balling and
mm-hmm.
been being tough. And I think defensively, I'm gonna go Leo.
Leo Chenal.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna go Leo.
In what way? Like, how you feel he gonna impact the game?
Spine the quarterback.
Mhm.
Yeah, really kind of being that Swiss Army knife that he is. And man, like I know it was a discussion early on about he's a Sam linebacker for a reason, but man, bro can play strong side linebacker, he come in, play defensive end. Like he can do a lot. You know what I mean? His athleticism is next to none. So it's like, yeah, I think he's going to be the key factor for us because he's all attitude and of course Chris Jones is going to be Chris Jones. I think Furious George is going to have a pretty good game. Once we take Saquon out of the equation, but yeah,
Mhm.
I think it's really going to the highlight is going to be on our front four.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Dre did just say some earlier as well too. So those are some good selections because Leo Chenal, I think it's more so when you're saying that like everybody else going to do their part. They're going to do their job
Mm,
and ball how they're supposed to. But his play can be the difference maker.
yeah.
Where who knows? Will he be the spot on Jalen Hurts? Is he going to be the one who negates him for getting outside of the pocket and making those big plays with his feet when we are taking Saquon out of the equation? But going back to the offensive side of the ball, you said Xavier Worthy. That's who you want to stand out on the offense, right? But
Mm-hmm.
this will be a good question of who can be the sleeper receiver that actually,
It's
you
going to be
know.
Hollywood. Yeah, it's going to be Hollywood. And the crazy thing about it, I wanted the Chiefs to grab Hollywood when he was leaving Baltimore
Yeah.
because he's a read style receiver. He's not too tall. He can run the whole route tree. Um, he's a pure receiver. And plus, he's Antonio Brown's little cousin. So outside of the CTE, the antics, and all that stuff, you know, I think AB was the last receiver to get 1,000 yards with Lamar Jackson, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Marquise Brown. Yeah.
Marcus, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He was the last one because no, Zay Flowers got one this year. He
Okay.
got 1,000 yards this season. He
Okay.
got a
But
1,000 yards this season. But before that, it was Hollywood Brown who did have it.
yeah. So I
Yep.
think I think Hollywood and Worthy. Yeah. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
think really, Hollywood's been on the shelf all season, so he got a little something to prove.
yeah. So for my standouts, oh yeah, score prediction real quick. What do you think the score gonna be?
I'm going 30, 20, 23 Chiefs.
30-23 Chiefs. Okay, bet.
And they
I like
and
the
I
sound of
think
that.
they get 23 because it's the last touchdown just to run the time off the clock, and I'm not sleeping on D-Hop Dre. I'm not I'm not sleeping on him at all. But the reason why I don't say D-Hop is because he's not the highlight reel he once was.
Hmm.
He'll get key. He's our possession receiver. He'll get key catches and all the rest of that. He's one of them. Like, I know D-Hop's going to show up. You know what
And
I
I don't
mean?
and I don't think he mind playing that role as well
No.
too. I'm here to get a Super Bowl. I'm
Yeah.
going to my
Yeah.
last part of my years. I'm honestly not going to get no big contract after this as well too.
Yep.
Maybe get on another team for a one year deal just to contribute, or maybe even come back here to see what goes on. But yeah, like you're saying right now, he is having an issue with his knee, but he playing through it. And I think he want to play through it because this is the first Super Bowl he's going to be a part of.
Yeah.
It was the first AFC Championship game he was a part of last week. So I think he wants to like the catches that I can have, slants across the middle, probably going downfield, try to hit me on a goal and just be able to get up on a guy in some of those
Mm-hmm.
moments. He's good at, doing his classic spin move where he's able to get yards after the catch. I think he's going to have moments like that. It just won't be, oh, D-Hop, the
Yeah.
great one. Like, it's not. We don't want that. We just trying to get you a shit, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. We've been waiting for this to happen years ago when you even mentioned Patrick Mahomes. He said that's a guy that you want to play with. So we're just honestly just happy for the moment.
And I'm actually going to add a very motivated Kareem Hunt.
Right. Right.
This is that story of redemption, and I think they let him get his too. Pause. I don't know if that sounds healthy or not, but yeah, I think they gonna let him get his too. So
Yeah, and that was going to be my standout. Yeah, let me go through my predictions real quick. So I believe, and Clinton will let me know if I'm wrong or not. My score prediction was 28-24. I'm keeping us under 30 still. Like, I don't care about going for 30 plus. That 28 can be sexy too, bro.
yeah, it can
It
be.
can be sexy if each possession you going downfield, killing the clock, getting those first downs, putting points on the board. And I know it's like only 4 scores in games, kind of crazy. That seems minimum, bro. This is what it was back then because you got to
Yeah.
give credit to a team that's coming into the Super Bowl, and you think they want Mahomes just to show out the entire game. Like,
Right.
no, it's not going to happen. Now, I think we can avoid the turnovers,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm fine with that 28 if it gives us the W. Now, for my standouts on the offensive side of the ball, it was actually going to be Kareem Hunt because I think we got to remember and replay in our head that Carr, when he got pulled over in the car
Yeah.
and was crying that he was saying that he should have been in the Super Bowl. I think he
Mm-hmm.
remembers that. I think he feeds off of that. And I think that's going to help him thrive. Now, like I've been telling people all season, this doesn't mean anything for Pop. When the guys who was arguing with us throughout the year who wanted to defend their takes, and there's no slight at all. Like, for real, there's no slight at all. We're not saying that Kareem Hunt's gonna come in and take it over going forward for the next 4 years. No, Pacheco is still, under his rookie contract. He
Yeah.
still he's still youthful. He
Right.
had a significant injury this season.
Right.
It ain't the same.
Yeah.
I understand we can talk about the yards per carry, but some of those yards that Kareem Hunt had was meaningful. Those were tough yards. So at the end of the day, I think he comes out, he balls out, he step up like he's supposed to when it needs to happen. And on the defensive side of the ball, man, I'm rocking with Trent McDuffie like I've been rocking with since the show we did last week. I need, if people was talking bad about him not having interceptions, he had the last two,
Yeah. Yeah.
towards the end of the season. And I want him to have a big one in a Super Bowl where he didn't have none this postseason, but of course he played well against some of those top receivers in his game. And I want him to go ahead and to close it out with a Super Bowl and, of course, with a Super Bowl interception as well. And we can just go ahead and give him that blank check. What you want, my brother?
Right.
So,
Right.
Let's go ahead and
Yeah,
get that out
man.
the way. But man, I definitely appreciate you for, of course, jumping on tonight. We had a great talk for about an hour. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to the people before we go ahead and hop off, and anything that you, of course, that you want to promote before you jump off of here as well too.
I just want to say, man, we've never seen a Chiefs team like this in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Just appreciate it.
Yeah,
Just
that's
appreciate
it.
it. Like it's not gonna be perfect. Life ain't perfect. Everybody complains about the Chiefs. I'm pretty sure they don't go to their job every single day and give it they all every single day in and day out, and they still get a paycheck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, hey, they doing what they supposed to do, and they will do what they supposed to do, man. Let's just enjoy the ride, because now Mahomes is getting a year older, man. I'm looking at now like, when is he gonna retire here? Is he gonna leave or something like that? So while he's here, I'm just enjoying the ride, man. I have nothing to complain about.
And truthfully, we giving people the grace that, of course, we be seeing in the chat in our group as well too, where it's like, we know y'all be trolling sometimes, or just really just saying how y'all feel. We not
Right.
tripping off that. At the end of the day, I think we all enjoy it to some capacity. We are having a great time with it. And when people try to question our team, like, we got something we can work off of. 3 Super Bowls as of now. We're working for a 3-peat, something that hasn't been done in NFL history. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a long week. We're definitely going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time for the remainder of this week as well, too, lead up into the game. But before we go ahead and jump off of here, make sure that y'all, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. And also follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. If you want to be on this week, for the guys who are in the chat, hit us up, so we can get y'all on final drive sometime this week, so we can talk the game. And the ones who have been on before, it's not going to be, about the fan talk as well, too. We're going straight into it. We're going to have fun with it. We're going to talk about the season. We're going to talk about the upcoming game as well, too. So if y'all want to be a part of that, please hit us up so we can go ahead and get that schedule before we do arrive to Sunday. But that's all we have for this edition of the Final Drive. Thank you, Larry, once again for, of course, tapping in with us and giving the people what they want and great conversations. And don't forget to follow him on his platforms as well, too. Larry Clopton on Facebook, /Slab_Judah on X. I don't have the Instagram titles and nothing right now. You want to get that real quick before we go ahead and get out?
Coach Larry 84, but all you're gonna see on that joke is plants in my daughter. So yeah, that's all we do.
Yeah. But thank you all for, of course, tapping in with us. It's going to be a fun, great week. And as always, go Chiefs!
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom Media.